In today's video, we're going to talk about safe notes. Notes that you can rely on most of the time. Super simple, as usual, but very beneficial. Grab your guitar, we're going to get started right after this. Hello, my name is David Wallerman. Welcome to this channel, which is all about helping guitar players around the world find their voice on the instrument. This is your pencil. This does not tell your story. You tell the story, and we're going to learn how to use this pencil to tell your own story. And today we're going to take a look at theory. We're going to take a look at that and then extract from it a piece of knowledge that is going to be very valuable when you are playing over pretty much anything. Pretty much. I say pretty much, there are always exceptions. But let's start with theory. And if you're the type of player who gets overwhelmed with theory, I understand. Bear with me for a few minutes, and then we'll look at the practical aspect of that. It's simpler than you think. All right, let's talk theory here. We're going to take a look at the church modes. Most popular ones, the most popular modes that we use in modern music. You've heard of them before, right? Ionian, Dorian, Phrygian, Lydian, Mixolydian, Aeolian, and Locrian. Those are part of the same family. However, I am a strong believer that you should not see them as part of the same major scale. Even though they're extracted from that, if you don't understand what I'm talking about, that's actually good, because I don't want you to fall into that trap. Modes, in my opinion, and in the opinion of a lot of modern players, should be seen as keys, as unique and individual scales. They have their own flavor, and songs are built with one mode, not from the common major scale. You can have a Dorian key. You can. And so these modes are extracted from the same major scale. Again, it doesn't matter, but they should be seen as unique and individual scales. And what makes a scale unique is its formula, its blueprint. It's a series of intervals, a series of notes that determine what a scale is. And that's what makes an Ionian scale, 7-note scale, different from an Phrygian scale. 7 notes, but some of these notes are different because they have different intervals. So we're going to look at the intervals of these modes, and just bear with me. You don't have to memorize that. Something will click at the end of my brief explanation here. If we compare all these modes, we will see that, well, we have some notes in common sometimes, but there's always one difference. And if we analyze these 7 different modes, Ionian, Dorian, Phrygian, Lydian, Mixolydian, Aeolian, Locrian, we analyze them and compare them starting from the same note. A, for example, if we compare A Ionian to A Dorian to A Phrygian and so forth, well, we'll see that some intervals are very often the same. And I'm talking about the 4th and the 5th. The others are not as common. So what do I mean by that? I mean by that every interval, the 2nd, the 3rd, the 4th, the 5th, the 6th, the 7th, have different subcategories. A 3rd could be major or minor. A 4th could be perfect or augmented. A 5th can be perfect, augmented, or diminished, and so forth. So there's not just one type of interval. You can alter those. And we find that within these commonly used modes, extracted from the major scale, Ionian, Dorian, Phrygian, Lydian, Mixolydian, Aeolian, Locrian, these 7, we find 6 times out of 7 a perfect 4th, and 6 times out of 7 a perfect 5th. The 4th, for example, is perfect in all these modes except for one, the Lydian. In the same way, the 5th is perfect all the time except for one of these modes, the Locrian. So what does that mean for us? That means that if you're playing a note on the fretboard over any backing track that is written in one of these modes, and if that note resonates with you and you don't know what note to play next, your safest bet is to either play the perfect 4th above or the perfect 5th above. Okay? Demonstration. This is where it gets really practical. I've got this backing track here, which, by the way, you can download for free. The link is in the top line of the video description below. Just follow the link and follow the prompts, and you can get this backing track in the charts for free. This backing track here is in A Dorian. Let's pretend that we don't know that. We have no idea what this is in. Okay, well, here it is. I'm going to take a chance. Well, I know that I'm hearing some guitar in there. So that's a clue as to what note I might use, because typically when there's a guitar in there, guitar players are kind of lazy, and they like keys that are easy to play on the guitar. E, A, G, but E is found most of the time. So an E is a very safe bet here. So I'm going to play an E. Yes, it works. That was my first educated guess because I heard a guitar in there. It's probably not going to be B flat. E is found in most songs. Okay, so now I have my E. Great, but I can't just play a solo in E. That would be very boring. But I know because of my theory that I can most of the time play a perfect fourth above or a perfect fifth above. That's what we're going to do. So I've got E, and you might ask, well, how do I do this? Well, you need to know your intervals, but I'm going to show you here how to do that. I'm assuming that your guitar is going to be tuned in standard tuning, okay? Which means that we have a perfect fourth between each strings, except for the third and the second. Between these, you have a major third, so the shape is going to change a little bit. But if you're playing an E on the second string, fifth fret, a perfect fourth will be found on the next string, first string, same fret. That's a perfect fourth. So any notes that I find here, if I have this note here on the fourth string, ninth fret, a perfect fourth above would be on the next string, same fret. Now, if you are on the third string and you want to play a perfect fourth above, because of the tuning of the guitar, the shape will no longer be the same, but you're going to have to add one fret. So if we have a note here on this A on the third string, second fret, a perfect fourth above will no longer be on the second string, second fret, but the second string, fourth fret. Okay, so that's how you play a fourth, a perfect fourth. The shape for a perfect fifth is same principle, but instead of being on the next the next string, same fret, or one fret higher if you're using strings 3 and 2, you're going to add 2 frets to that. So if we have a note here on the fourth string, second fret, a perfect fifth above would be on the next string, 2 frets higher. So that's the third string, fourth fret. So 2 shapes, perfect fourth and perfect fifth. Those are the safest note that you can find. So here's my backing track. I can play an E. I can play it here on the second string, fifth fret. I can also play it here. I can also play it here. A lot of E's, but let's say I'm playing this one. Second string, fifth fret. The perfect fourth is a very safe one. 6 chances out of 7 to hit the right one. So yes, that works. Same with the fifth. That works, right? Now let's take this an octave lower. That's the fifth. Third string, fourth fret. Well, I have good chances of being able to hit a perfect fourth above. And I can, which happens to be the E, the starting point. What about a fifth above this note? So I'm playing the third string, fourth fret. A fifth above would be second string, seventh fret. And that works too. So now, just with that knowledge, piece of knowledge, I started with one note, I was able to find this one, octave low. Now I've got all these notes without even knowing the key. Now, it is A Dorian, because I told you, but that works even if you don't know. Now, if you hit a wrong note, 1 chance out of 7 to hit a perfect fourth when it's not a perfect fourth, maybe it's an augmented fourth. With a fifth, maybe it's a diminished one, use your ear. But if you have no clue to play, you find one note, you can safely play that perfect fourth above or perfect fifth above. It's going to work in most situations. That's what I have for you today. You can download this backing track and experiment with this along with the charts that go along with this. And if this is your first visit, I want to thank you for watching this video till the end. And I encourage you to subscribe if you haven't already, because every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday there's a new video very similar to this one that aims to help guitar players around the world find their unique voice on the guitar to tell their own personal musical, I need a haircut, story. I'll see you next time. Thanks so much for watching this. Practice well.